Alright, what's going on, Internet? Thank you for joining me again today. We're going to be taking a look at how to build a barcode scanner using Python. We're going to put that with a UI. You're going to be able to see what you're scanning. It's all going to be amazing. So how we're going to do that, we're going to be using something called Barcode Reader. Now, it's something you're going to need to install. That's outside of building this Python script that's going to be leveraging this in the back end. So if you just go to zbar.sourceforge.net, you'll be able to get the instructions if you're running Linux, if you're running Windows, phone SDKs. I think you can also install it through Brew if you're on a Mac. So there's an abundance of opportunities for you to download this. It's free. So head over, get that sorted first. Next thing we're going to need to do, we're going to have a heap of libraries here. So let's start by creating our environment. So to do that, we are going to open up our terminal. I'm going to navigate to our project folder. Or maybe not. Oh yeah. Excellent. All right, so we're in our project folder now. From inside of our project folder, we're going to set up our environment. Python 3 -m virtual environment. We're going to call it Pyzbar. Now that should have now created our Pyzbar environment. So if we go source Pyzbar /Pyzbar, fourth time's a charm, /bin/activate. Perfect. We can now see that we've got a Pyzbar environment up and running. Now, for our libraries, what are we going to need? Might set this up a little bit tidier. That's not the button I wanted to click. I mean, it wasn't a bad button, but it wasn't the one I wanted. I've, of course, completely lost what I'm looking for. There we go. All right. Oh yes, that would be much nicer for us to work with. Let's increase the font sizes of this stuff a bit so it's a bit easier to read for you on the video. Now, we are going to need to say from Pyzbar import Pyzbar. Now it's the Zbar Python library for us to get going with that. We're also going to need to import CV2 as CV. Now what's that going to do for us? That's our OpenCV library. That's going to be used for camera access and image processing and all that sort of fun stuff that we're going to use for being able to display the camera image that's coming in, as well as, reading the actual barcodes. We're going to build our UI in Flet, so we'll import Flet as FT. Now Flet is fantastic. Flet is our ability to use Flutter, but in Python. Big fan of that. Some great easy UI components ready to go. Going to import threading. Now we're going to need threading so that we can run the camera loop in a separate thread so that it can be doing its thing, processing camera feeds while we're performing other operations. So we'll import threading, import base 64 to handle our image encoding. We're going to import time because you can't buy time, you can import it though. And that's going to be used for controlling our frame rates. We're going to import, oh no, I mean we are, yes, but we're going to say from IO import bytes IO, and that's going to be used for working with our in-memory image buffers. If all this doesn't make sense yet, it's okay, just code along with it. We're also going to have from pill, so we're going to import the pillow library. We're going to import image, and that's going to be for converting images. So all around how we're going to be handling that video feed coming in. Now, what else are we going to need? We're going to need to have a stop event. We're going to call it stop event equal to threading event. And we're going to have a barcodes set. Now, a set is kind of like a list or an array. But when we're scanning in our barcodes, we're going to be scanning them in based on the frames coming in the video. So if there's 24 frames per second, we hold up a barcode, it's going to read it 24 times. And it seems a lot easier to import something into a set where it's going to only import unique values than in an array or a list where it's going to, if you hold it up for a second, it's going to try and add that 24 times. So you've got to then check, does this already exist? So we're only capturing unique barcodes. It just seemed easy to use a set. Pretty cool functionality, not addressable, so it's not going, okay, well, this is the 0th entity, the first entity, the second entity within the array. It's just, hey, here's all of this stuff to be used. But otherwise, I think pretty cool, especially for what we're using. So if you don't care about the order which things are added, I like it. Let's do our pip installs. So let's go pip install Pyzbar. Yep, doing its thing. Pip install CV2. Cannot find CV2. I think that had an interesting name when we were installing it. Give me one moment here so I can remember what we actually need to type in. That's right. We go pip install OpenCV-Python. There we go. That's the one. So that's going to give us our CV2 library here. Go pip install Flet. There's a bit going on with Flet, takes a little while. There we go. Pip install threading. Threading, I think, is a standard module. There we go. We don't need to install that one. We'll come back to it if we work out that I'm actually wrong and we did need to install it. And I know we need to install pillow. That one is just pip install pillow. And that's going to be our PL. Now, I think some of these other ones are just standard packages that we will find. If they're not, we'll get error messages and we'll know that we need to fix that. How good is Python? All right, what's our first function going to be? We're going to define a function that's going to take in a frame from the camera. So the camera's going to be looking, it's going to be watching, it's going to be waiting. And we're going to convert that into a base 64 string so that we can handle that a little bit easier. So OpenCV is going to have an image frame. We're going to turn it into a base 64 encoded JPEG string. And then that's going to allow it to be displayed in the Flet image control, which we haven't set up yet. But let's define OpenCV to base 64. It's going to take in a frame. Magic. All right, we're going to take a frame RGB variable. We're going to set that to CVT color. Yep, no U. Take the frame CV dot color underscore BGR to RGB. and that is going to convert a BGR image, which is what OpenCV will take, to an RGB image, which is what Pillow will take. And then we're going to set our Pillow pill img equals image dot from array frame RGB variable just created. Now we'll create a buffer so we can use our memory, and we're going to use buffer equals bytes IO. We're going to say pill image dot save. Oop, no way on that. Dot save to the buffer format of JPEG. So we're going to save that image into the buffer as a JPEG. And lastly, we're going to return our encoded buffer as a base 64 string. So we'll say return base 64.b64 encode our buffer dot get value decode in UTF-8 format. UTF-8 save. All right, that's our first function done. Next up, let's do another one that's actually going to read the barcode. So it's going to decode the barcode from the frame. It's going to use a set that we already created here to store our results as duplicates. Store our results ignoring the duplicates. It's going to take in an argument of the frame from the OpenCV capture, and it's going to return the set that we were looking at. So we will say define read barcode, take in the frame. How are we going to do it? We're going to set a read object variable as Pyzbar.decode the frame. Easy, and then we'll say for each object in the read object array that we're getting in. We want to go barcodes.add object.data.decode UTF-8 and then return barcodes. So what is that actually doing? So our first line up here is decoding any barcode QR codes that are in the given frame. Then we're setting a loop here that's going to loop through each detected barcode object in the frame, decode it into bytes and add it into the set, and then return that set so that we can use it later for other fun activities. Now, let's take a look at our video loop. So we'll define video loop, and what that's going to do is it's going to continuously read frames that are coming in from the camera, detect the barcodes, update the image and text controls until we stop it. So this is a bit of a heavy lifting function. So I'm going to take in image control as a variable, we're going to take in barcode text as a variable, or as an argument. We're going to take in the page. Page. Yep, do not overwrite. How has it all gone so terribly wrong? What have I done? Don't want it on overwrite mode. You know what I have done? I have taken away the keyboard, it's Bluetooth, and I set it to a different computer. Alright, so it's randomly typing away on another computer. Perfect. Now we're going to take in our capture in here, and that is going to be cv.video capture, and still overriding things. This is going to open the default camera. So if you have different cameras, you change it from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 till you work out which camera you've got going. For me, this is going to be on a laptop, so we're going to go with 0. Now, we've got our video capture coming in. Now we're going to say while cap.is opened and is not stop event dot is underscore set. So while the capture is open and we haven't said, hey, stop what you're doing, we will go ret frame equals cap dot read. So saying, hey, capture a single frame. If not ret, so ret is going to be our variable that takes in if something has failed. And if that happens, we want to break the loop, so we're not just forever trying to find something. Now, from there, we'll say barcodes equals read barcode frame. So that's going to decode the barcodes that we've got in the frame. We'll say if barcodes barcode text dot value slash n dot, so we're adding a new line, join barcodes. So what that's going to do is in the text control that we're going to build within Flet, we're going to say, hey, on the next line down, add in the next barcode. Now else, so if there isn't a barcode showing up on the screen, we're going to say barcode text dot value, so our Flet text value, we're going to set as no barcode detected. Excellent. All right. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to want to grab our image control dot source underscore base 64 equals, use an f string so we can throw in our variables, and say OpenCV to base 64 our frame. So that is going to update our image control with the new base 64 encoded image. We're going to update our page.update. So that's going to update the Flet page to reflect the change. And then we're going to say, hey, just hang out for a minute. We're going to say sleep for 0.03. So that's going to be about a 30 frame delay so that we can rate limit our inputs. And then we will say cap.release to release the camera when it's finished this job. All right. Now, our main function, pulling it all together. Define main page ft.page. Now, what are we going to do in here? We've got our colon. Now, within our colon, we are going to need to, within our main function, we're going to need to define our Flet UI for barcode scanning. So it's going to display the camera feed, display the decoded barcodes, and provide some start and stop buttons that we can use. So let's look at our parameters that we need for our page. So we have page.window width equals, we'll do 640, and we'll go page.window height 800. We're going to create an image placeholder before the camera starts. IMG equals ft.image. So our image holder within Flet, we're going to set it as a width of 480 and a height of 320 and a source of localhost / nothing.jpg because we don't have a default, but I don't think it technically matters. I think what it's really looking for is that there is a source. If you want to make it a bit fancier, you could put something in there where you've got an asset that's like a little loading icon or an unhappy dinosaur saying there's no image found. For me, I'm just going to put a broken image. Now we'll grab our barcode text that we were setting before and say ft text, and we're going to ft dot text rather, and we're going to set that to no barcode detected. We will set it as a size of 16 and selectable in case you want to copy and paste out of there. That's true. All right. Now we've got our barcode text set. What are we going to need next? Let's create a dictionary that's going to hold the camera thread ready for us. So we'll go thread holder equals thread none, and then we'll create a function in here for starting our camera. So diff start camera, and again that. All right, now I was going to start the camera thread if it's not already running. So we'll check if thread holder thread and thread holder thread is alive, return. So do nothing if the thread is already up and running. Otherwise, we will stop event clear. So we'll reset the stop event. Now we've handled that, what do we want to do? We want to actually start the video loop running in the background. So we'll say t equals threading.thread target equals video loop. Arguments that we're going to send that are our image, barcode text, and page variables. And daemon equals true. That doesn't need a colon at the end. All right, now we've got that. We'll say t.start. So we'll start our thread. And thread holder thread will no longer be equal to none, it'll be equal to t. So we'll have our thread sitting within that, and it means that if someone clicks start again, this value will be true and the thread will be alive. Awesome. All right. Now about we learn how to stop a camera. So we'll def stop camera, taking the event, and this is going to stop the camera thread and print all of those collected barcodes out into our terminal over here. Excellent. All right. So we're going to run our stop event, set. Excellent. All right. So that's a signal for the video loop to stop. We're going to update the UI. It's in a stopped state, so we'll go barcode text value equal to stopped. We're going to say we're going to update our page, so the UI refreshes, and we will print the barcode set. So that'll appear in our terminal over here, just for easy reference. And let's add our UI elements to the page. So we'll say page.add. We'll add image so that we can have the image control. So that we can have, image control for the camera feed. We will add the barcode text, which is going to be the text values appearing underneath. We will have our start and stop button. So we'll add a ft.row. And within that row, we'll have some buttons. So I'll say ft elevated button for stop. And let's do start first. Start. And we'll have on click. We'll call our start camera function. And then ft dot elevated button for stop, and on that one we'll have our on click event be equal to stop camera. I know, blows your mind, right? Alright, so that's all now done. We will have a ft.app target equals main, and it's going to launch our Flet app using that main function. We'll save this, and that should be that. All right, so let's try run this, see what happens. I anticipate that writing 78 lines of code, there's going to be some issues in there, hopefully mostly typos. We'll run Python pybar.py because that's what I called the file. Hit enter. All right. Line 22 from obj in read obj, invalid syntax. All right, so 22. All right. From obj in obj. That doesn't sound right. I think that's meant to be for, because it's a for loop for each object. Yeah, okay, let's try that. All right. 29 doesn't like and is not. This is not meant to be. No, just not. It's like is not one word. No, just and not. And not, I think, is the correct way of doing that. All right. We go now 54. An unexpected indent. All right. Through here, 54. Yeah, that is correct. That should not be indented. We're not inside of this thread holder right now, so we'll bring that back in, and that means that I think probably all of this needs to be back in a row as well. There we go. All right. For those playing at home, Shift tab to tab back in, tab to tab out. All right. Run again. 59 doesn't like that we closed that and then added more on the end, which is fair. That doesn't belong there. We've already got it. We don't have it closed. We closed too early. All right, let's try that again. Now it's just angry about that. It's so angry. Also, that's totally not how you spell video. So let's just get ahead of that one. All right. So what do we got here? We've got threading, thread, target equals video loop, got our arguments. I think our arguments are meant to be in here. That's where we've got our confusion. Yeah, let's try that. All right, so now it's angry at our button. Okay, like weird thing to be angry at, but I think it's actually angry that I didn't put a comma between this because it's a list of things, or an array of things, a list of things that sit inside the FT row. Let's try that. Oh. Okay, now this looks vaguely promising. Now I have currently got a manual cover over my camera because I value my privacy. So I'm going to hold up a barcode here. DVD, Empire, second season. I haven't watched it yet. We'll click start. All right, and we have errors. So it turns out I didn't need to open up that camera lens just yet because we're not quite ready. All right, so what's our issue here? Name frame RGB is not defined. Did you mean fram RGB is not defined? Yeah, that's probably fair. Where was that one? 15. 15 fram RGB. Yeah, no, it's definitely frame RGB. All right. Save that. Let's clear this. It's getting real messy. Run that again. All right, we're up and running. We'll click start. Now I have, okay, this is positive. I have the camera cover over currently. So let's unblock that. I'm covering the thing. There we go. All right. And errors. What's our error line? Where barcodes.add doesn't like barcodes.add. All right. Let's take a look at that. Line 23. Barcodes.add object data decode. Tuple object has no attribute add. All right. You know what I think it is? I don't think we're setting this correctly. I think this is creating a tuple and not a set. I think we specify that it's a set. Let's attempt this again. Start. There we go, okay. We are seeing values added. I mean, they're different values because I'm zooming in and out on this barcode, but like, yeah, we're getting there. I think we're getting a lot of glare, so it's having trouble reading it, which is why we've got a few different values there that all look largely the same, but are different. So what have we got? We've got a 9327317688821, which is not correct, but it's nearly there. It was pretty close on a lot of these. The actual number is 9321 337 168821. Nine 168821. It did grab it. It had multiple failed attempts. So I'm going to call this a partial success. I'd love to call it a complete success. When I originally wrote this code, I was sitting on a train going into the office for work for the day. it works perfectly on train lighting, holding up barcodes on my phone. So, look, I don't know how the lighting in this office is somehow worse than a train. I suppose trains no, it wouldn't have consistent lighting. I was sitting next to a window. Yeah, no, I don't know. But we were able to accurately open up a camera feed and grab a barcode. So, partial success. I think there's room for improvement here. I think we might be able to revisit this another time and look at how we can better detect barcodes, maybe doing some playing around with the image quality. I think also probably not just using a really dodgy laptop webcam would probably help quite a bit as well. But yeah, look, we've done it. We've successfully built a barcode scanner. Thank you for joining me on this fun little journey. If you found the video helpful, drop a like, drop a comment down below if you know or have ideas on how we can improve this in terms of how we're doing our image handling so that it can more accurately read a barcode. I think also the fact that there was a glossiness to the barcode because the plastic cover didn't help. But if you've got ideas on how we can handle that, drop it down in the comments below. I'm eager to hear. And yeah, if you're interested in this sort of content, please subscribe, hit the little bell icon if you want to stay up to date with what's going on. And until next time, have a good one.